They told me I tried to kill myself. That was the first lie. The second was that I had no family. Third was that I had always been sick. I woke up in a white room with straps on my wrists and a burning pain in my head. My mouth tasted like metal. My memory felt blurred. A woman in a nurse's uniform smiled down at me. "Welcome back," she said gently. "You had a bad episode." What?" I whispered. "You don't remember?" she asked softly. Panic rose in my chest. "Where am I?" "St. Augustine Psychiatric Hospital." My heart started racing. "I don't belong here." She only smiled wider. "That's what you always say." The doctor came an hour later. Dark hair. Eyes. Beautiful in a way that made my stomach twist. "I'm Dr. Rowe," he said quietly, sitting beside my bed. His voice was slow, careful, like he was afraid of breaking me. "You tried to hurt yourself," he continued. "Do you remember why?" "No." "That's okay," he murmured. "Your mind is protecting you." He showed me a file. My name on the front. Photos inside. Me crying. Me screaming. Me restrained. Dates going back 3 years. "You've been here before," he said gently. My hands started shaking. "That's impossible." "You disappear sometimes," he whispered. "You forget who you are. And when you come back, you're terrified of me." Fear crawled into my skin. "Why of you?" His lips curved into the saddest smile. "Because," he said softly, "I'm the one who always brings you back." That night I heard screaming. Not from me. From another room. A woman begging. Crying that she wasn't sick. That they were lying. I pressed my hands to my ears. The door opened quietly. Dr. Rowe stood there. In the dark. "I thought you might be frightened," he whispered. "I want to leave," I said, shaking. He walked in slowly and sat on the edge of my bed. "You said that last time too." Tears filled my eyes. "Please." He brushed my hair back gently. "So many people hurt you before you came here," he murmured. "I'm the only one who keeps you safe." Something inside me screamed that this was wrong. "Do I know you?" I whispered. His eyes darkened. "Yes." "How?" He leaned closer. So close I could smell his cologne. "Because," he said quietly, "you were mine long before you ever became my patient." The first crack in the story came from a screen. They wheeled me into the therapy room the next morning. Soft chairs. White walls. A television bolted high in the corner. Dr. Rowe sat across from me. Hands folded calmly in his lap. "We're going to help you remember," he said gently. The nurse pressed a button. The screen lit up. Video. Me. Screaming. Strapped to a bed. Begging someone not to touch me. But the man standing beside the bed was not Dr. Rowe. Different hair. Different face. Different voice. I stared in horror. "That's not you," I whispered. "No," he agreed quietly. "That was your first doctor." My heart raced. "And what happened to him?" He hesitated, then said softly, "You stabbed him with a scalpel." Cold flooded my veins. "I would never." "You were very sick then," he murmured. "Hallucinating. Violent. Afraid of men." Tears streamed down my face. "I don't remember any of this." "That's because I erased it," he said calmly. Silence crushed the room. "You what?" "Medically," he corrected gently. "To protect you." Later that day, another doctor spoke to me. Young. Nervous. Eyes that avoided Dr. Rowe. His badge read Dr. Miller. He checked my pulse, my eyes, my reflexes. Then whispered so quietly I almost didn't hear him. "Do you know what year it is?" "I know." He swallowed. "You've been here 6 months." My breath shattered. 6 months. "They told you 3 years," he whispered. "That's not true." My heart began to pound. Why would they lie? Before he could answer, the door opened. Dr. Rowe stood there smiling. Dr. Miller froze. "Everything okay?" Dr. Rowe asked pleasantly. "Yes," Miller said too quickly. After he left, Dr. Rowe closed the door and looked at me for a long time. People fill your head with dangerous thoughts, he murmured. Then softly, only I know how broken you really are. The treatment started that night. Not therapy. Electric lights. Needles. Chair with straps. I don't want this, I cried. You asked for this, Dr. Rowe whispered, tightening the belt around my wrist. I did not. You begged me to make you forget, he said calmly. Fear exploded inside me. What, forget what? He leaned close, his breath warm against my ear. That you tried to leave me. The needle slid into my arm. Cold burned through my veins. The room blurred. As darkness took me, I heard him whisper the words that followed me into sleep. You're much easier to love when you don't remember hating me. I woke up with blood on my tongue and a new scar behind my ear. And a name in my mouth I didn't recognize. Elias. It slipped out when I tried to say, Doctor. Dr. Rowe froze. What did you just say? I don't know. His face went pale. Say it again. Elias. Silence shattered the room. Slowly, he smiled. Not gentle, not kind, terrified. You're remembering, he whispered. That night, I found the file hidden under my mattress. Marked in red. Patient. Mrs. Rowe. My heart stopped. Inside. A marriage certificate. Name. His name. Photos of us smiling in a wedding dress. And a final report written in his handwriting. Admitted after attempted escape from husband. Diagnosis. Delusional, unstable, dangerous. Treatment authorized by spouse. Tears streamed down my face. He didn't bring me here to save me. He brought me here to erase me. The truth about our marriage was worse than the hospital. Worse than the straps. Worse than the needles. He told it to me himself. That night, he brought wine into my room and sat on the bed like we were lovers again. Not doctor and patient. Husband and wife. You were brilliant when I met you, he whispered. Too brilliant. My hands shook around the glass. You were my professor, I said. Yes, he smiled softly. And you were the only student who saw through me. Memory flickered. Lecture hall. His eyes on me. Always on me. You followed me, I whispered. I protected you, he corrected gently. He told me how he waited outside my apartment. How he read my messages. How he fired every man who tried to date me. How he proposed after 3 months because he was afraid I would leave. And after the wedding, you changed, he murmured. Tears burned my eyes. You locked me in the house, I said. Yes. You took my phone. Yes. You hit me. Silence. Then softly. Only when you tried to escape. My breath shattered. You brought me here because I was not sick, I whispered. No, he said quietly. I brought you here because you were finally trying to remember who you were before me. Dr. Miller came to me at dawn, white-faced, shaking. I found the old reports, he whispered. You were never diagnosed before your husband signed you in. Hope exploded inside my chest. You can get me out. Yes, he nodded quickly. Tonight. During the medication round. My heart raced. He'll kill you. He already threatened me, Miller whispered. But I can't leave you here. That night, when the hallway lights dimmed and the nurses changed shifts, Miller unlocked my door. Now, he whispered. We ran barefoot through the corridors. Alarms silent. Too silent. Almost to the exit. A voice echoed behind us. Going somewhere. Dr. Rowe stood at the end of the hall, smiling. Gun in his hand. Miller froze. You told her everything, Rowe said calmly. Miller stepped in front of me. Let her go. Rowe sighed softly. I really liked you. The gun went off. Once. Miller fell. Blood across the white floor. I screamed until my throat burned. Rowe knelt beside me, wiping tears from my face. I told you, he whispered. Everyone who tries to take you from me dies. After that, the hospital became a palace. Not a prison. They moved me to a private wing. Silk sheets. No straps. No nurses I didn't know. Only him. He stopped pretending I was sick. "You're my wife again," he said gently. "I'm fixing what I broke." He showed me photos. Trip. Laughing. Me holding his hand willingly. "You loved me once," he whispered. "I can make you love me again." Fear and confusion tangled inside my chest. But then, memory came back in pieces. Fight. Me screaming that I was leaving. Him crying. Me whispering, "Please. I can't escape you. Make me forget." My breath hitched. "I asked you," I whispered. "Yes," he said softly. "To erase you so you would stop trying to run." Tears streamed down my face. "So all of this was your idea," he finished gently. The final fracture came in the mirror. One morning, brushing my hair, I noticed something on my neck. A scar. Perfect. Like surgery. I pressed my fingers to it and suddenly, the memory slammed back. An operating room. Me strapped to the table. Not screaming. Begging. "Take it out," I sobbed. "The part of me that hates you." Him. Holding my face. Crying. Promising. "I'll make you happy again." I dropped the brush. My whole body shaking. He didn't kidnap me. He didn't force me. I gave myself to him. And asked him to destroy me. That night, I looked at him across the bed and whispered, "Do you still have the part you removed?" He froze. "You remember everything now?" "Yes." Silence crushed us. "And now?" he asked softly. I touched the scar on my neck. "Now I understand why I stayed." Tears filled his eyes. "Do you hate me?" I thought about the cages, the needles, the lies, and the man who loved me so much he turned me into his ghost. "No," I whispered. "I'm afraid of myself." He pulled me into his arms and whispered the words that changed everything. "Then stay broken with me." The memories didn't return all at once. They came like cuts. Dark. Cruel. Unstoppable. Faces. Wounds. Screams that were mine. Hands on my shoulders. His voice telling me I was safe while I cried that I was dying. And the worst one. Me. Standing in our bedroom. Suitcase in my hand. Telling him I had fallen in love with another man. His face breaking. His knees hitting the floor. "Please don't leave me." And my own voice, cold and exhausted. "I don't love you anymore, Elias. I'm afraid of you." That was when he took me to the hospital. Not to heal me. To erase me. The chance came 2 days later. A woman in a gray suit arrived to audit the records. Not police. Not doctor. Government. She asked to see me alone. The door closed. She slid a card across the table. "My brother disappeared here," she whispered. "I think your husband killed him." My heart stopped. "We can protect you," she said urgently. "We can get you out tonight." Hope burned. Real hope. "And your husband," she continued, "will spend the rest of his life in prison." He nodded, shaking. Finally, an ending. That night, Elias came to me smiling. "You're quiet today." "I'm tired," I whispered. He kissed my forehead. "I scheduled a session tomorrow." Fear slammed into my chest. "A session?" "Yes," he said gently. "Your memories are hurting you again." Cold wrapped around my spine. "And if I don't want it?" He touched my cheek. "You always say that." I hid the card in my shoe. Waited. Pretended. At midnight, the door opened quietly. 2 guards. The woman in gray behind them. "Now," she whispered. We walked through empty halls. No alarms. No voices. Freedom waited at the end of the corridor. And a light turned on. And he stood there, blocking the exit. Holding a syringe. "You were going to leave me again," he whispered. The woman pulled out a gun. "Step away from her." He didn't look at her. Only at me. "Did you ask them to take me?" I whispered. "Yes," he said softly. My breath shattered. "I told them everything." Tears streamed down my face. "You promised." "I promised to let you go," he said. "But I never promised to survive it." The gun went off. Once. The woman fell. Blood on the wall. Silence. He dropped the syringe. Knees hitting the floor. I can't do this again, he sobbed. I can't erase you again. My whole body shook. You killed her. I saved us, he whispered. He locked the wing himself. Dismissed the nurses. Sent everyone away. Yes. Only silence. Only truth. He sat beside me on the bed all night, holding my hand, crying. I've erased you 4 times, he whispered. My heart stopped. 4. You always come back, he said brokenly. You always remember. And you always try to leave. Tears poured down my face. And every time, you beg me to make it stop. Closed my eyes. Saw it. Me on that table. Again. 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 Why didn't you let me go? I whispered. Because I love you more than I love you alive, he said. The words crushed me. Morning came. And with it, the decision. He stood in front of the machine. Needle ready. Is red. Hands shaking. This will be the last time, he whispered. After this, you'll never remember anything before me. Silence burned. I walked toward him slowly. Touched his face. Kissed him softly. Tell me one thing first, I whispered. Anything. If you erase me again, will I still choose you? He started crying. Yes. Every time. Closed my eyes. And if I don't let you, you'll destroy me, he whispered. I looked at the needle, the chair, at the life waiting in pieces. And finally, I made my choice. He told me about the first time he erased me while the machine hummed behind us. Not like a doctor. Like a man confessing his sins. You came to me after the wedding crying, he whispered. You said you couldn't breathe anymore. That you felt trapped inside your own head. Closed my eyes. And I remembered. Bathroom floor. My hands shaking. Me whispering, please. I don't recognize myself when I'm with you. You said you were afraid you would kill me if you stayed, he continued softly. Tears slid down my face. So you asked me to take the fear away. The memory hit like glass. Me on the table. Not screaming. Holding his hand. Begging. Just take the part of me that wants to leave. A sob. And when you woke up and smiled at me like I was a stranger, I thought I had saved us. My chest hurt so badly I could barely breathe. And the second time, I whispered. You remembered again, he said. 3 months later, you packed a bag. And the third, you tried to jump from the balcony. Silence shattered. And the fourth, you found another man. My throat closed. So all of this is the 5th time, he finished quietly. He sat me in the chair himself, not tying me, not forcing me. Just holding my hands like we were about to pray. This time will be different, he whispered desperately. No lies. No hospital. Just us. I'll love you gently this time. The needle shook in his fingers. If you go through with this, I said softly, you'll never know if I stayed because I loved you, or because you deleted me. He froze. Tears poured down his face. I can't lose you. And I can't lose myself again, I whispered. Silence. Long. Heavy. Then slowly, I stood up, took the syringe from his hand, and pressed it into my own palm. If I am really choosing you, I said quietly, then let me choose you with my whole mind. He collapsed to his knees sobbing. You'll leave me. Maybe, I said. But if I stay, it will be real. We ran that night. Not from the hospital. From the world. Fake names. A small house near the ocean. No doctors. No machines. No files. Just us. And the memories. All of them. Every cage. Every lie. Every time I begged him to erase me. Every time he did. The nightmares almost destroyed me. Some nights I woke up screaming and tried to claw my way out of the bed. Some nights I tried to run. And every time, he let me. Never locked a door again. Never took my phone. Never touched me unless I reached for him first. I'll wait forever, he whispered once. And if you leave, I'll deserve it. Months passed, then years. The scars faded. The memories stopped cutting. And slowly, something impossible happened. I stopped hating him. Not because he was innocent. He wasn't. Not because he was good. He wasn't. But because I remembered something else too. How lonely he had been. How broken. How afraid. And how every time I had begged him to erase me, he had cried harder than I did. One night, standing on the beach with the waves breaking around our ankles, I asked him quietly, "If I had destroyed you, would you have let me?" "Yes," he said instantly. "And if I leave tomorrow, I'll still love you," he whispered. That was when I finally understood. He didn't want to own me anymore. He just wanted me. Years later, people talk about a brilliant doctor who disappeared after killing a woman in a hospital. They never found him. They never found me. They never knew the truth. That the woman he erased chose to remember, chose to forgive, chose to stay with the monster who broke her mind. Because she finally knew something darker than fear. Love doesn't always look like rescue. Sometimes, it looks like two broken people choosing to keep each other alive. Even when they shouldn't. And when I look at him now, asleep beside me, his hand still shaking sometimes in dreams, I don't see my doctor. I don't see my jailer. I see the man who destroyed me. And the man I chose. With my whole mind. Forever.